Namaskar. MoFlow. We're going to work on the hips, but with some gentle spinal movement that is going to help warm up and kind of break up the sedimentary lifestyle of the sitting at the desk, at the looking at the devices, all that kind of stuff that is pretty modern. And I want to help you break that up as well. So before we get into the flow, I would really dig it if you subscribed. Hit that like button, get the notifications so that you know the MoFlow drops stuff for you. So let's do this. Let's get into a child's pose. So if you're like unsure what a child's pose is, we just put the knees out wide, toes touch. I like to use my hands to root down and push back, and then start to sprawl and relax down. Now, depending on what kind of juice you have from the day, maybe you need to relax here for a little bit. Maybe you need to soften in your belly, soften in your arms. There might even be a little bit of nodding going on left to right to warm up the neck. But sometimes just staying here is very peaceable. Very peaceful. You're going to start to cultivate your Ujjayi breathing, Ujjayi pranayama, which is a great way to warm up. So I'm going to come on up a little bit more as I'm going into my cat-cow. And you're like, what the hell is a cat-cow? It's emulating the animals. So we're going to inhale, lift the head and the butt as we drop the belly. Exhale, we tuck the butt, round the back, tuck the chin. On your own, it's an inhale does one thing, exhale complements it or is an alternative to the other. So here we go. It should be cow-cat because we go into cow first, so we drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the butt. Exhale, we round it coming into that cat pose. And on your own. Now, you can stay here and just kind of keep warming up just in the traditional sense. Or start to get a little bit more circular, organic fluid into your bodily flow. Going in circles one way. Maybe reset in the child's pose and come back on up. Also feel the ability, the okayness to play with your hand positions so that you can go a little bit side to side. It doesn't have to be a cat-cow. It's just kind of whatever you need to do to move. And I heard it referenced the other day is like I like to think of it in terms of a side-to-side kind of snaky sort of posture. But another teacher that I just recently got to hang out with was thinking of in terms of more of kind of side to side. So we're going to look back, check out our butt, our padunkadunk, and then look back the other way. So you're just kind of checking it out, and you can still do the same thing. You're leaning on one side, you're looking back, you're trying to figure out what movements feel intuitive and natural to you. And then start to push back again into that child's pose. It's going to be a modern, kind of a moderate version because we want to be able to move through it. So you're just going to dip the hips, push back, and let the toes go with it as well. So you're going to bring the toes to touch in the child's pose version, and then maybe even slide down and forward and then up, opening up the toes, opening up the feet. Knees are still down, quads are down, but I'm in this modified upward facing dog. And Again, figure out what feels good for you. You could reach under. Twisting. Maybe it's a little bit of a hold here. You can bring the head down, arms extended out, palm up if it feels good, or palm down if it feels good. But just not kind of hanging out. Be in the moment and really just thinking about what it is that is feeling right for you. And then we'll do it to the other side. And if you notice, you're going to try and keep your hips stationary, relatively stationary, but the twist is happening. So I'm reaching under and trying to stretch and reach us all the way through. So my thoracic spine is getting some action. My butt might float a little bit. That's okay. I'm just trying to move with what I got. And then we'll come back on out of it. And if you need any more of that spinal warm up, that wiggle room, find it. It's okay. In the meantime, we're going to go into downward facing dog. Super important, and I'll turn this way for a moment. Super important to have the shoulders, hands shoulder width apart. Pointer finger is going to aim ahead of you, but starting with the hands shoulder width apart, stacked over. And now, if I were to bend my elbows, so I want to make sure that my elbows are turning back behind me. So all of a sudden I'm bringing my triceps towards my sides, towards my ribs. So I'm going to turn it. And if you think, okay, I still don't know if I've got it for sure, a great way to test it is to just bring your elbows down. You know your elbows are going in the perfect direction if you can bring them down and they just rest down as if you're going to set up into a dolphin. So again, starting off, hands perfectly placed for me. You find you. And then turn it back. Go ahead, curl the toes, butts up, heads down, downward facing dog. Remember, if I drop it, the elbow's there. If I am wrong and I drop them, I'm going to just come down to a weird push-up. Now we can keep that motion going, that warming up the body. Some down dog to up dog transitions. It's working the strengthening of the wrists, the shoulders, and that getting some hip love. Each time, see if you can go a little bit further forward, and then maybe up higher and back, and then rest. In an Ashtanga practice, 5 breaths is typically it. So you're going to take this 5 breaths. We're doing vinyasa, but I want you to take about the 5 breaths there, and then come into a hero's pose, virasana. And then feel, where do you feel more pain? You shouldn't be feeling pain, that's what I'm asking you. Where do you feel, if any, pain? Is it on the outside? It shouldn't be. We want to grip the mat with the whole hand. So it's just a suction cup, it just takes up the whole mat. We shouldn't be feeling it on the pinky side, and we shouldn't be feeling it on the inside, the thumb side. We want to feel the whole hand. So just to start moving, just to start grooving, you're going to just go back to downward facing dog, walk your dog, pedal your dog, root down in the pointer finger base knuckle, both hands, and that's going to alleviate that pain of not spreading the weight equally on the hands. And we're just going to move a little bit. Inhale the right leg up high. Exhale, step it by the right hand. Just close. Stay low, stay close to your body, and we're going to just turn all the way to the back of our mat. Step back, downward facing dog. it's moving. You can prep for it a little bit. You can kind of use some momentum, kind of pump it a little bit, and then that leg lifts up. And we keep turning. And enjoy the hip opener, the hamstrings, the hip opener and the glute stretch. As we're moving, we're warming it up so that we can hold poses later. We're gonna get back home. Left leg lifts. Step it. Find your stability first. Stay close. And then turn. Stepping back. Left leg steps. Finding that stability, looking maybe forward. Turning all the way now. Back. And there we go. We've completed a cycle. In this down dog, make it kind of fluid and movie and hippy dippy. We're gonna come to a plank, push back, turn the knees to the left, lift the left arm up, push back, and all of a sudden, bam, we're in side plank Vashisthasana. If this sucks, if you're unable to stack and stay, drop that knee, then stabilize. You can play, you can do all kinds of stuff. Modifications are our friend. Just because I have my knee down doesn't mean that I'm gimping out. So I'm gonna step it back, push it back, twist, forward, push back, crouch, reach up, side plank, Vashisthasana. Try not to let your hips dip, try not to lift them too high. Try to find that Goldilocks principle, just right. Remember, knee can come down. And if the knee's coming down, the foot's probably gonna adjust a little bit as well. Use that kind of stuff to your advantage. So instead of maybe moving the leg up and doing stuff, maybe you need to find something for your shoulders. Go back the other way. And then I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna drop my mic, and then I'm gonna push up into that plank via side plank to downward facing dog. Bringing your knees down. This time, instead of knees out wide, bring the knees to touch. It's going to be what's called Virasana, hero's pose at first. We're gonna get a gentle quad stretch. We're gonna give our hands a little bit of a break. But we're simply going to now round down. Knees are touching, toes are touching. I'm going to try and get some extension in my lumbar. The inhale is going to extend the spine. Exhale, removing the air from the belly will help us round down. But in my case, I ate too much ice cream at night. Damn those munchies. And if your hips float up, that's okay. Try and relax your back. Push back a little bit. And stay there as long as you need, as long as you want. But we've got to move on. We're going to find our way into a nice plank, shoulders over the wrists. Same thing. We turn the elbows back. So if I were to come back, I'm in dolphin. I'm in plank. I'm in dolphin. I'm in plank. Easy breezy. You can add on to this kind of fun stuff by going back to a dolphin, looking forward, and then kind of sliding slowly. Upward facing dog. To downward facing dog. Tiptoe towards the front of your mat. Inhale, Circle, sweep your arms all the way on up. Maybe you crack your knuckles. You can pop that Charlie's Angels mudra. Reaching on up, going into a back bend of choice. Or now, great shoulder rinse. Interlace the hands behind you. Push the knuckles down. We're going to inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. So you can tuck the chin to totally round the back, or slightly look forward. Lift your shoulders up, push them back. And now, come into a modified chair pose with this pushing down. Lift up. Step the right leg back. We're gonna be in humble warrior. So my heel is up, my back heel, I wanna drop it down. I'm going to hover over my left leg, my front leg. Inhale. Exhale. Same time as we exhale, we're just going to kind of quarter turn to the right, wide-legged forward fold, and then release the arms. This is a great place to have your blocks. So you can have a flat back. So you can kind of drop the spine down, lifting the butt, pushing the floor away, push the butt back. And then maybe over time, it might not, easy for me to say, it might not be today. It might be another day, but we can maybe even fold forward and come and do a headstand. Any sort of fun thing that you want. Going back to the concept of breathing, Ujjayi breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. It's going to warm you up. Start to find a little bit of motion. A loose Skandasana, archer pose. I like to think of it as just more kind of hip dips. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I love this. Be mobile with your feet, like lifting the toes up, riding on the heel a little bit so you can transition easily. And then we'll come all the way on up. Lifting the hips up, lifting the chest up, pushing the hips forward. And then we're going to get back into Drew's favorite, Neo-asana. So we're just going to kind of start to windmill a little bit. Turning the hips, we're getting some spinal and hip movement, love. And then start to bring it down, reaching side to side until we get to a spot where we can put one hand on the opposite foot and use that pull, that fulcrum to twist up. Staying here for however many breaths you want, but about 2 to 3, just to keep us moving. And then we're going to kind of go back a little bit, stirring the hips with the hands kind of moving. You're going to come up again, feeling it. And then working your way back down till we can get to the opposite side. If reaching your foot is not there yet, be in the center, twist up. Start to work your way eventually over to that foot. So it can be here, it can be here, but we're going to just quarter turn now to the right. Drop the left knee down, hands down. Little bit of a movement here for the hips. Pushing the hips back, bringing them forward. kind of go, letting your spine go in the direction of the way the hip is opening. Play with that. Or maybe you're going the opposite way. But just find about maybe 3 to 5 of these reps, and then find stability, stationary now. We're just going to open up that right hip. I'm getting a little bit of stretch in my left side. I'm trying to stabilize, taking notice of where my hand is so that it feels okay, and then lift the chest, twist it open. Maybe bring your gaze over, maybe not. Let's bring it back, plant the hands. Lift the left knee off the ground. Stack the hands underneath the shoulders, and then send that right leg back up in the air. Opening and closing the hip with a straight leg. And now knee to nose. We'll need a chin, knee to center, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to bring the right knee under, extend the right leg out. Move your block if it's in the way. Both hands are down, and I'm going to do some more of that rocking forward and back. And now I'm going to come all the way down to the ground. There's a working version. I'm going to get back to that in a moment. So if you're stretching, enjoy this stretch. You're bringing your left leg. You're like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Just let it be. Twist and relax, fold forward. So that's the passive version. If you want a little bit more gusto, a little bit more work, you can start to rock forward and back. Right leg is engaged. My left leg floats. Maybe my left hand floats. You're holding it. You're able to breathe. Let's all meet back down into this twisted relaxation. So if your right leg is on the bottom, you can be at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Maybe someday you'll work to 9. And now, I'm also going to add onto this, I'm going to take my right arm, thread it underneath, bringing my right shoulder down, extending my left arm, letting my left leg balance and relax. Staying in any of these positions as long as you want. But we're going to move. I'm going to bring my feet, my knees together, kind of stacking. My right arm is still underneath. And I'm going to be in like a little bit of a fetal position, but I'm going to drag my fingers up and around, grazing the floor, opening on up into a supine twist. Let's do this about 3 times. So I want you to try and reach the whole time. Expand, stretch, reach. And then maybe the top hand goes past, quite a bit past the bottom hand, and then we're going to go back. Structural integrity is ultimately ending with the shoulders on the ground. So if the hips need to come up, that's okay. Here we go, last one. See if this time you don't even touch the floor, you're just reaching. And twisting. And relaxing into this supine twist. One other option, a good option, is if you want to play with having your bottom foot connect on top of the top knee. So you're in this kind of this figure 4 version, and then you'll bring your gaze over towards the left. So what we got going on right now, and I hate it in the yoga speak, is that we're detoxing the body and yada, yada, yada. The way I like to think of it is we're moving shit around. I'm twisting my guts, I'm twisting my intestines, wringing it out. That's about as detoxing as I believe in. But we got to come out of this. So we're just going to reset the feet if you got into something alternative, and then flow it back. We're going to just basically hit rewind. So I'm going to bring my left hand underneath the shoulder a little bit so I can post up. I'm going to straighten up, lift that right leg up in the air, play with it a little bit. Maybe you even explore the space, bringing a forearm down. You can flip your dog. You can adjust your shirt as you do a wild thing. And let's simply push it back. As many breaths in downward facing dog as you require. Then we got to get back home. We're going to inhale that right leg up high. Step it towards the right hand. Half turn, enjoying that slow motion. Half turn all the way back. Looking forward, stepping forward into chair pose. Rising all the way on up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Great time to take a sip of water if you want. Let the vitality come back into the body. Get back to your breath, your breathing. Ujjayi breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. I'm working in a heated room. I need to cool down a little bit more. Inhale through the nose. HA through the mouth. Let's bring those shoulders back. Roll them back, push the knuckles down, have a comfy, cozy seat in that nice chair pose. Lift the chest up as you inhale. Exhale, float that left leg back. Figure out where you're stable. We start off in a high lunge and then drop that heel down. We're in a humble warrior. If this sucks, maybe a strap is there to hold you. You're free to hold on to. We're going to inhale, half lift. Exhale, quarter turn to the left. One more of those nice wide-legged forward folds. And release the bind. We tried to have a flat spine last time. We'd like to have you round this time. So we get this opening of the shoulders, rounding. You can still lift the spine up and push the floor away. And then a little bit of that warming up business, keeping those. We're trying to give some love to the joints, the ankles, the knees, the hips. Getting a little groovy. Maybe we're even kind of planting the hands a little bit like softly so you can move as if it was sand. And then we're going to start to move on up. We're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Bonus points if you have any clue what that reference was. That's your homework. If you know it, comment in the section. Let me know who that theme song reference is. Remember, you can bring your hand to the foot, you can have it in front of, you can have it in center. Twisting on up. But we got to get groovy to the other side. Working our way up. We probably aren't as stiff as we were on the other side. Enjoy that, use that. And then slap it down, twist it to the other side. Maybe you need to grab up higher, twist. I just want you to know that there's options. And if this hurts, we just find the easiest version to the point where we can breathe and to the point where we can aim to the stretch. And someday get there. But we're gonna turn now. Dropping the right knee down. Finding your moving version of a lizard to Ardha Hanumanasana half splits. Seeing what you can add on for you. Can you inhale, lift on up, lift the chest up, look forward a little bit more. Maybe you're pushing hips a little bit more to the side. But now we're gonna plant the right hand, open up the hip. Notice, catch yourself doing this if you start to kind of relax a little bit, like in other parts of the body. No, try to maintain and keep everything in a good alignment, in a good posture. All right, so now we need to get to the other side. So we're going to curl the right toes. My hands are rooted down. Remember, elbows are aimed back behind me. I'm going to just step back into this downward facing dog. Just for a moment, 3-legged dog or a 4-legged dog, whatever, a sloppy dog, I don't care. Left leg lifts, we're going to bring it to center. Inhale out. Exhale across the body and extend. Now, I'm going to just go to the harder version right away. So I'm going to engage my left leg, right arm floats, so does my right leg. And you can stay there comfortably as long as you can breathe, and then bring it down if you haven't already. And we're going to relax into this twisted forward fold. Not even giving a rip about how our belly's overflowing. We're just inhaling to lift the spine. Exhale, twist into it. And take notice if one side needs more. So stay here longer. Or stay on the side that needs it more longer. I'm a big fan of like that 2-to-1 ratio. I need to thread my left arm under, bring it down, so I'm getting a shoulder stretch. Reach in there, just relaxing here. Maybe the head rests. But now let's bring it into that nice little flowy, moving supine twist. So my right hand is extended. I'm reaching, I'm hovering over. I'm trying to reach something like a little screw that fell. Twist open. One breath and then flow it back. Reach. Extend. Same thing. Reach. And then notice your shoulder mobility. If we get stuck here, we have to adjust. We have to twist open to get that armpit, that shoulder open. And then we're gonna close it. Because we got one more ahead. Reach, flow, twist, and relax. Remembering, structural integrity is the shoulders are on the ground. So it doesn't matter if your knees are floating. Maybe you need to have a block underneath. It's okay. Props are our friend. Ask Iyengar. So I'm gonna move it just so I can go back to where I was. Left foot now will cross over. Bringing my gaze over to my right. Remember, we're getting some gentle twisting in the guts. Staying here, relaxing here, as long as you need to. I'm going to come out of it. Slowly. I'm going to return pretty much the same way. I'm rewinding. And then when I get to a point where I can post up onto my arm, turning back. So I'm going to need to find my way to a nice downward facing dog. And since we worked this side, we want to twist up. Maybe you're drawing big circles. Maybe that forearm comes down. Maybe you engage the heck out of your right leg and support that strong right arm coming into a wild thing variation. You can bring your toes down, your heel down. You can bring your butt down and lift on up. As long as you're able to breathe, that's the thing. I'm going to step my left leg back where it should, stabilize, and then slowly enjoying that turn. Crossing the arms over. If you feel that, oh, I could really stay here for a little bit longer, do it. Watch your body guide you to where you should be. It's going to feel right. It should feel like a challenge, but it should feel good. And turning until it feels good all the time. Looking forward, stepping forward. I'm going to scooch back a little bit into that chair pose. Trying to bring hips down, palms apart, but hands are up high. And then play with this a little bit, flicking the hips a little bit. You're turning them in, you're popping it out. And then rolling on up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Folding forward. And just coming back down to your child's pose. Maybe now, we've worked the hips a little bit, maybe now you can get even wider. Off the mat might not be as comfortable. On the knees themselves, but push back and relax. I'm going to encourage you to stay here for about 5, maybe 10 breaths. Bringing your breathing pattern back down to normal. Relaxing what you can. I'm going to come out of it. But again, stay as long as you feel good staying there. A few of my teachers in many a class have said, if you ever get to a part in the class and you got no gusto, you're out of gas, you're on E, go to child's pose. child's pose, or Shavasana, corpse pose, laying on the mat. I'm still struggling with a shoulder injury that happened years ago. One of my favorite teachers forbid me to take the class and work through it. It felt good when I was moving, but I was damaging myself. I was going hard and I shouldn't have. So she said, I can stay. You're more than welcome to stay, but you gotta relax. You gotta be in Shavasana. So there I was, laying down, almost being lulled to sleep by the huffing and the puffing of all the power yoga that was going on around me. And at first it was embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, I should just leave. But no, there was something to that relaxation. And I wanna encourage you to do that. If you ever get to a point where you need to just stop, ask yourself, do I need to stop? If you do, then stop. Don't let pride, don't let anything get in your way. Relax and enjoy your yoga. I want to thank you for hanging out with me for however long this takes, and I hope that you feel a lot better with this addition to the series. So until next time, Namaskar, my Mo Flow.